Hey everybody, let's do a daily discussion. So what are we seeing today in the last 24 hours? That's interesting. Pentagon's outgoing boss warns of quantum cyber threats. Go figure. Definitely something to keep on the horizon. As a risk, probably not something to deal with today. So as much as I want to inform people about what to worry about, I want to also inform people about what not to worry about. And of course my app here just decided to not show this and blank out, but yeah, what are we looking at? So, it's just a talk track. It's just a talk point. Again, put it on your horizon risk list. Keep it, in mind, but probably not something to start dealing with today. So, moving on. Let's look at the world of Bitcoin. Definitely an area that I'm very interested in seeing kind of where it's going to go. We see another state that is about to allow for a tax exemption for miners and mining operations. I feel this is a really interesting dynamic that's changing. And, we put together something with Side Channel on how to look at mining operations and kind of the whole cryptocurrency supply chain. This is actually something we're actively working with a number of brokers, one brokerage in particular. And as we announce that partnership in the future, very excited. Shout out to everybody down in Miami right now for the Bitcoin conference. Hopefully there's some good information being shared. However you look at cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as it exists, there is an infrastructure that sits there. There are mining operations well left of the exchanges that need to be looked at and reviewed from a cyber standpoint. Before that, there's power sources and construction that need to go into it. How do you actually assess these things? How do you actually get risk posture? How do you eventually get insurance to operate these? I think the big question that I pose to those in this space around mining ops is, on what's built on top of that concrete slab that is a mining operation, is it any different than a manufacturing facility building doll parts or cars? I say if we look at the risk posture of operations on top of that concrete slab and what it's doing, it's really not that different. There's a number of different ways to look at how to assess the risk posture of that organization and of what else is going on, in there. It's pretty straightforward to me. There's things to apply across the rest of the supply chain, but start looking at things a little differently. Just because it says crypto or Bitcoin or touches something in that space, is there a risk associated with it? The same that you would look at the risk of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency sitting inside of a wallet? No. We need to look at things a little differently. I think there's some really cool approaches to apply actually in this space. But we're going to see Oklahoma now come back to having a tax-exempt status potentially in the future. I believe there's some other states that have that are attracting talent. West Virginia, I think Kentucky, Texas, all looking at this space, looking at how to get mining operations into their state and produce a tax-free status for them, which should attract those operations, which should bring jobs. But anyway, looking at this space, following closely. If you're there, have some fun, reach out. It's an interesting area and definitely one that I want to keep exploring. Last but not least, last 24 hours, just a update on the No Joke Borat. Plug, that guy here. I don't have a quirky, fun thing to just plug into this, but, obviously malware strains propagating and coming up more and more. Look, the biggest takeaway for most of this stuff is you need to be aware that it's out there. Should you really care about this version or that version? No. You should just be looking at what the security posture is of your organization and trying to, make it better. If ransomware is a real concern and threat for you and your organization, address it. Put the controls in place to address that threat. If it's not and you feel like you've got a good handle on it, address other threats. But I think a lot of people get wrapped up too much in this variant or that variant. And at the end of the day, they all unfortunately do the same thing. Bad stuff for you. So if you address ransomware as a threat, you can pretty much address any strain. Should we be reacting every time a new one comes out? No. Should we care about what APT or criminal group is behind it? No. Let the guys who are really into attribution and do all that, okay? I think for most part, people need to just focus on how do I defend against this? How do I make sure that I'm protected? How do I reduce my risk in these areas to the concept and the threat that just is ransomware? Anyway, Brian Haugli with Side Channel, just daily discussion. Hope you guys have a great day.